Recording.
Alright, so today we're going to be measuring range of motion for thoracolumbar flexion and then doing a manual muscle test for trunk rotation. So in order to do the range of motion test first, we have to find the bony landmarks. So first one will be C7, and in order to find C7, I'll ask the patient to look down towards the ground. I'll find the two bony bumps that come up, and then I'll ask the patient to go back to normal, look side to side. C7 should be moving with the head turning contralaterally, and then T1 should be staying stationary. And in order to double check, I'll go up one bump to find C6, and in order to confirm it's C6, I'll ask the patient to look up towards the ceiling, and C6 should disappear. So now I know that C7 is right here. And then the next bony landmarks that we'll be using will be the S2, and in order to find S2, we'll find the PSIS, and on either side, an S2 should be between them. So to find the PSIS, we'll find the iliac crest, and we'll trace it back down towards the sacrum until we feel a bony ridge, and we'll find it on the other side as well. And we know S2 sits between the two PSISs. So I'll bring the tape measure down here and take note of the measurement. And now I'll ask the patient to bend towards the ground as far as they can go. And come back up. So the difference there was about 3 inches. Normal thoracic flexion is 30 to 40 degrees, and normal lumbar flexion is 40 to 50 degrees of motion. The patient might try and compensate by bending their knees or flexing their hips, or even trying to rotate a little bit to reach a little bit farther on one side. And now we'll move on to the manual muscle test. So if you could lay down on the ground with your feet towards the camera. So we will be testing trunk rotation. The main muscle at play is the external oblique. It comes off of the ribs and it inserts into the linea alba in the middle, linea albia in the middle. And the other muscle at play is the internal oblique. And the innervation for those muscles are the intercostal nerve, the iliohypogastric nerve, and the ilioinguinal nerves 8 through 12. And then the nerve roots for those are the anterior rami of nerves 7 through 12 of the thoracic nerves. So in order to do the manual muscle test, we'll start off at a grade 5 in order to position the patient for that. I'll have the patient put their hands behind their head. I'm going to stabilize on the contralateral hip, and I'll ask her to bring her left elbow to her right hip. All right, and go back down. So she was able to clear her scapula off of the ground, so that means it's a grade 5. If she wasn't able to do that, I'll have her cross her arms in front of her chest, and I'll ask her to bring her left elbow to her right hip again. Go ahead. And back down. So she was able to clear her scapula off the ground, so that's a grade 4. At grade 3, go ahead and have your arms down by your side, and I'll pre-position this arm across. And I want you to try and reach across with that arm to this side again, so go ahead. Good, so that would be a grade 3. She's still able to get her scapula off the ground. Grades 2 and 1, she'd still be in this position, and I would ask the patient to try and get that shoulder off of the ground and bring it towards that hip. Being unable to clear the ground means it's a grade 2 or a grade 1, but there's still palpable muscle contractions here. A grade 0 would be no palpable muscle contractions from the external oblique. And then we would test bilaterally, so go ahead and get back in the arms behind your head position. I'll go around to the other side. Stabilize here, and then go ahead and bring your right elbow to your left hip. Very good, back down. So she has a MMT of 5 bilaterally, and that is all.